Hi, I'm Anna, and this is my Com 440 final project, and it's called Ethics of Coca-Cola AI Generated Ad Campaigns. This presentation will go over how Coca-Cola's last ad campaign raised some concern with ethical questions over transparency in the use of AI. So here is the situation. In March of 2024, Coca-Cola released their new global campaign. It was called Masterpiece. It's just this 1 minute ad that is visually very stunning, and it incorporates a lot of famous artwork like Scream and the girl with the pearl earrings. Those images seem to come alive, and they were passing the little Coke bottle throughout the different frameworks of the art. What made this ad so well known was because Coca-Cola partnered with creators of ChatGPT and Brain and Company in order to make this ad. So really quick, let me just show you the actual video. All right, so that was the video. So now I'm going to go over what actually happened. So Coca-Cola partnered with OpenAI and Braden Company, like I said, and this was announced publicly to only investors and the marketing industry. It was promoted to them as a symbol of how AI could enhance human creativity rather than replace it. Coca-Cola used AI tools to generate original scenes that were blended into the live action shots of actors holding the bottle and stuff like that. Coca-Cola did speak about the AI partnership in the industry articles and press release, but on the actual Masterpiece video that was published on TV and YouTube, it has no mention of the role of AI in the video whatsoever, and especially did not mention how big the role of AI took in this video. So, from an ethical standpoint, there is a huge disconnect between internal marketing announcements and public transparency, and it can be a major issue and make customers lose trust in your brand as a whole. So, there are several major ethical concerns that come up in this case. The first one I'll go over is transparency. Should consumers know when they're being shown AI generated content? Does it change the way they trust their brand? And second, I'm going to go over is authenticity. Coca-Cola positioned its ad as a tribute to famous human artists, but used machines to recreate the work. And the third one I'll go over is kind of goes along with authenticity, which is artist exploitation. If AI was trained on human made artists without explicit permission, is that ethical? Even if it's technically legal, does it raise the question of if it's fair for the original creator's work? So, now I'm going to go over some broader ethical issues that can kind of go along with this case study. Um, Transparency and honesty are central when companies hide the role of AI. They are risking damaging their reputation, their trust with viewers in the long run. Um, Respect for human creativity is another theme. If AI models imitate human artists without consent or credit, it can devalue the original human effort it took. This line is very blurry on AI these days, so it's important to figure out where the line is drawn and where the line is, anyways. And finally, there is a risk of consumer manipulation. If viewers believe something is handcrafted and it's actually not, they're going to feel misled or lied to by a company. One ethical principle that I think can really coincide with this case study is utilitarianism. This is all about achieving the greatest good for the greatest amount of people or whatever it is. From a utilitarian view, Coca-Cola might argue that their AI-generated ad made millions of people happy, and it created excitement and creativity and positive feelings about their brand. However, critics usually would say that the harm has already been done, and undermining artists' rights, losing customer trust and contributing to AI misinformation could eventually outweigh the short-term happiness that the ad provided. So, the question to ask is, under utilitarianism, did Coca-Cola's actions truly maximize the well-being of the society? So another ethical theory that I feel like really coincides with this is social responsibility theory. This theory holds that media organizations, including advertisers, have a duty to act in the public interest. This means being as transparent as possible, truthful, and only by not by any means misleading to audience for any sort of profit. Coca-Cola's decision not clearly disclosing the AI creation challenges this theory a lot. By withholding that information, it seems like they're prioritizing their corporate image and their profits over any public understanding and trust. So, according to social responsibility theory, they had an ethical obligation to be upfront about, and they did not respect that obligation. So, now let's talk about what other choices did Coca Cola have. I believe Coca Cola had multiple choices that could have saved them from this situation. When creating the masterpiece ad, they could have included a simple disclosure like AI assist visuals at the end of the ad. They could have made a version that used just human artists and animators instead. They could have created a real world artist whose styles or painting were referenced during the AI generation. So it's clear that Coca Cola did take the easiest path in making this, and it might have saved them a lot of money short term, but in the long run, I think they're going to lose more money from it because they're losing customers and they're losing customer trust. So, a couple ethical outcomes and future lessons. In short term context, I think Coca Cola's campaign was praised for being innovative and exciting. However, when customers became more aware and realized the truth about the making of this video, I think people started to question and they wanted more transparency. Um, Brands that neglect to disclose their AI usually do face a lot of backlash in this community because AI is such a sensitive topic. I think people deserve to know when it's being used or not. So going forward, Coca-Cola and other companies need to start building an ethical framework around what is okay and what's not okay with AI, and not just doing this because they don't want to lose customers or they don't want to face the public criticism, but because they want to genuinely do what's right for the public and their respect to know. And here are all my sources. Thank you.